Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin with this Hexagon decor piece from the Dollar Tree. I made this DIY and I had one extra, so I'm going to use it. And I'm also going to use this wooden bee from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go in with these two paint colors to paint the bee like this. And now I'm just going to take some wood glue, the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue, which I love. I'm going to place my bee in this manner, and it fits pretty perfectly where I can place it on top of this hexagon honeycomb piece, and just like that, allow that to set. It doesn't take long because this glue is fantastic. So I'm just going to remove any extra glue with my finger or my fingers in this manner. Allow that to set. Doesn't take long, like I mentioned. Now I'm going to make a quick little bow with some of this honeycomb ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to make a quick little shoelace bow, just super quick. And I'm going to dovetail the ends, and I'm just going to add a little dab of glue, of the hot glue, and I'm going to place it on the very top just to make it look super cute. I'm going to place the little tails behind the antennas of the bee just to keep it in place. Now I'm going to take these little florals that I had extra from, they're from Dollar Tree, but I had them extra from another project. So I'm going to place them on the sides of the bow in this manner. I realized the other little sprig of flowers didn't have any greenery, so I went and got another one. And I'm just going to place that on the other side of the bow. And that is it. Super quick, super cute, like a little shadow box. This is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. This video is to celebrate World Bee Day 2024, which is today. And joining me in the celebration is Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. So we are collaborating together. So be sure to check out my description box for the link of her video, and I'll also pin it in my comments for your convenience. For DIY number 2, I'm going to take 2 of these birdhouses from the Dollar Tree. And if you look closely on the front, one has some bees and the other one has a butterfly. Really cute. So I'm going to go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White, give them both a coat. And now I'm going to take some of the Crafter Square bee inspired, it's kind of like a farmhouse print. It's in black and white, but it's so adorable. And I'm going to take a piece and kind of roughly measure, just by placing it against the side of the house, how much I'm going to need. And so I'm just going to put a little notch with my scissors like this. And now I'm just going to simply tear this piece off. It just rips off super easily. I'm going to go all the way down. And I'm going to measure from the top to the bottom of the side of the house. And go ahead and cut that piece off, because I'm going to be doing a little bit of decoupaging with this fabric. So here's the piece that I need. And now I'm just going to use this as a template to cut the rest of my pieces. And it just turned out where this one strip fit all 4 of these pieces for 4 sides for these 2 houses. I didn't do the backs, I just did the 2 sides. But this one strip that I tore out, fits pretty perfect. Just tiny little piece left at the very bottom. Couldn't get any better. So now here are my 4 pieces. Now here I'm going to take my Mod Podge. I'm just going to use the matte Mod Podge, and this one's from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to place a nice generous amount on the side of this one house, and I'm going to use my little brush and spread it all nice and even. I want this fabric to adhere very, very well. So once I'm happy with this, I'm going to place my fabric gently, and I'm going to press down to the ends, to the top and the bottom, and now I'm going to add some more Mod Podge to seal it all up. And I want to add a generous amount because I'm going to sand off the excess with my finger sander. And you can also use scissors and just trim it off, but it's a little difficult to get to those corners, so I prefer to do the sanding. So I went ahead and did all 4 of these sides just like I mentioned. So here's the other house, and now I allow these to dry completely so they look like this. So here is my finger sander, and I'm just going to sand off these rough edges. Now you can leave it on there if you want to make it look more rustic, but I wanted more of a clean edge for these, so I just went ahead and just rubbed with my finger sander until it basically just sheared off. Now here I went ahead and did both houses in this manner, And I'm just using my little trimming scissors for any little fibers that might be left. But look how cute. Adorable. So now I'm going to go in with this black chalkboard paint from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint the bottoms and the tops of these houses. And I wanted to add a little hexagon window that I happen to have, and I painted it black. So I'm going to use this for the little bee house. The butterfly house, one would not fit. The butterfly was a little bit too large. So I'm just going to use one of these for the little bee house. I think that would make it look adorable. Look at that. Just a perfect little touch. Super cute. So now I'm going to take some white chalk paint in the color Snow White, and I'm just going to do a little bit of dry brushing on the black. I felt like the black was a little bit too, I don't know, too solid. So I just wanted to do a little bit of dry brushing. I think it goes well with the actual fabric that is very farmhouse. So I went ahead and did the whole piece where the black was, and underneath as well, all of it in this manner. Now if you're wondering what I'm going to do with those holes, I have an idea for that, and it's sitting right there on my left bottom side. And you'll see that in a minute. As soon as I'm done with these, I'll make sure I get them nice and the way I want them. And I do a little bit on the hexagon little window as well, and allow all this to dry completely. Now here are my florals. I'm just going to add them to the very tops, and that is it. So cute. Here's how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to take one of these other little houses from the Dollar Tree. Oh, and with these DIYs, I'm going to try to make them as different as possible. I'm going to take another one of these little hexagon windows, which is actually larger than the other, and I'm going to go in with the Waverly antique wax and the chalk paint in the color Maize. Allow them to dry, and I'm going to add the little window on the heart with some of the super glue wood glue, and just place it on there, hold it down, and allow that to set. In the meantime, I'm going to take a small piece of pool noodle, and using my utility knife, I'm going to slice down a piece that will fit in there pretty snug. So I'll just cut both sides like this, and then kind of just tear off the piece that I want. And now I'm going to see if it's going to fit on the sides. Just slice off a tiny little piece, and then that fits perfectly. And I'm just going to take some hot glue and add a nice generous amount to underneath of my piece of pool noodle, and go ahead and squeeze it in there and press it down. Now I can add my florals. I'm going to just do a couple little sprigs of this greenery bouquet on the yellow flowers, some of these wildflowers which I used in my other DIY, and some of these wildflowers from Walmart, the little daisy looking ones, and some of this baby's breath. I'm just going to snip what I need, press them inside in this manner. Now I'm going to take these wooden beads and this thin upholstery needle with some jute twine threaded through. And by the way, these beads are from Amazon, and I'll have everything linked in my Amazon storefront for you guys. It'll be in my description box in my link tree. So here I'm just going to thread these beads through in this manner, in this order. I'm doing a bee one first, and then the black, yellow, black, honeycomb, another black, another yellow, another black, and another bee. And like I said, these are all beads. And I'm just going to tie some knots to keep them in place. So I'm going to do a triple knot on one side because my knots were coming out a little bit too small, and I don't want these beads going through the holes. So now I went ahead and press that down, and now I'm going to make sure it's nice and tight, and I'm going to make 2 nice knots on the other side. That's all it needed. I could have done 3, but it just needed 2, so that was fine. So here's one, and then real quick, make sure it's nice and snug. And here's the other one, like this. And now I'm going to snip off the piece that I'm going to use, and I'm going to add it to the very front of this little garden fence, I guess, or flower box. So I'm just going to take it to the back and add some hot glue and allow that to set. I'm going to use my silicone spatula, that way I don't burn my fingers. Give that a second to cool down, and then take it to the other side and do the same. Add a little dab of glue and press it down with my silicone spatula And this was just enough to go all the way around pretty perfectly. But if you have any extra, of course, you could trim that off and allow all the glue to cool and set. And look how cute. And now I'm noticing that my jute twine has some fuzzies, so you know we can't have that. So I'm going to take my lighter and get rid of all these fuzzies like this. That looks much better, looks a little cleaner. Now I need to fix my florals. They kind of moved around a little bit too much. I want my little window to show. And now I'm just going to top it off with a tiny little bee. This is from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to add a dab of glue, and I'm just going to place it on the very top of the roof. Just kind of like it's looking down in the garden. And that is it. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 4, I'm going to take this kind of circular birdhouse. This one came from Walmart, and it's a plaid product. And I don't know, I've been so drawn to birdhouses lately. Making them for the bees. I think that's so adorable. So I'm going to go in with these 2 paints. Waverly chalk paint the color Maize and Snow White. Paint them like this. Now on Amazon, I picked up this set of, they're called rub-on transfers. There's all kinds of designs. I'm just going to show you real quick. I was actually very overwhelmed at first, thinking, oh no, what am I going to use? Everything is so cute, so adorable. The pictures are just so vibrant and pretty. Anyway, they're supposed to be rub-on transfers, but to me they're more like vinyl pieces. I don't know, but anyway, they work pretty great. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off this little wreath with the bees. I thought that would be perfect. As you can see here, it's on a plastic and it peels off pretty easily. Place it on your project, and then this little tool I happen to have in my stash. It didn't come with any tool, but this seemed to work okay. It did rub on pretty great. And here I'm removing this transfer tape, which by the way is super sticky. Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. But look how cute. But we're going to get rid of all that shine with some Mod Podge, that's for sure. So here I'm looking for another piece to place on the side. I want some kind of floral for each side of this birdhouse. So I really like this one here. This one has some pretty flowers, not too huge. And then this one here, I'm trying to see if it measures, and it measures fine. So I'm going to snip off this piece as well. This one's a little bit larger, and I'm taking the bee as well. But how cute are these? So anyway, here I'm going to remove this transfer tape, and I'm just going to place it on my project, kind of center it, and it's pretty sticky. Here I'm going to use my little, I don't know where I got this. I just had it in my stash, kind of like a little scraper. So here I'm removing the transfer tape. Now some of these I needed to use my nail, and that always happens. Doesn't matter what rub-on transfers I use, Dollar Tree or any kind of rub-on transfers. I always end up having to use my nails for this. Just, I don't know, I guess it just kind of rubs harder, I guess, I don't know. I'm just showing you how sticky that tape is. I couldn't believe it. Super sticky. Now this one here, I missed one of the flowers. That's why I thought it was more like a vinyl. When I went back to use it, it was more like a vinyl and less than a rub-on transfer. Or maybe it's just different, I don't know. So here I'm going to remove this gently. Some of these pieces needed a little more attention, but they still came out really cute. So here I'm just going slow, because you have to rub really hard. Okay, so now here I'm going to go ahead and take a little piece of this transfer tape, and I'm going to place it on the flower to pick it up. And see, it acts more like a vinyl. So yeah, and then here I forgot where it was supposed to go, so I don't know, I just placed it anywhere. I lost track. I'm like, oh, was it here? Was it there? Just go with the flow. Yeah, just go with the flow. Anyway, still looks really cute. Look at that. Super sweet. And speaking of sweet, for this one I decided to add a little bit of the faux honey with some of the yellow glue sticks, hot glue sticks. And I get these from Amazon, and again, they'll be in my Amazon storefront and my link tree in my description box. And I add a little dab there, and then a little bee. This one's a plastic bee. This one's from Amazon, but look how adorable. Just a tiny little bit of faux honey. And now I'm going to go over with Mod Podge on all the shiny parts of these rub-on transfers that are more like vinyl. So like this. Now I'm going to allow that to dry. In the meantime, I'm taking some of this yellow ribbon. This one came from Dollar Tree and it was from the Bee collection. And I'm just going to take a nice long piece of this transparent ribbon and snip off what I need. And I'm just going to do a crisscross in the front and kind of cinch it in the center. And I'm going to tie it together with a thin piece of white cotton twine. Now if I had floral wire, I would use that, but I didn't have any more. So this is what I used and it worked out perfectly. So I just tied it with a good double knot in this manner. And then kind of fluffed up the bow, dovetail the ends, and got it ready for my little birdhouse. And this came out really, really, really adorable. This was like the perfect bow for this birdhouse here. So now all I have to do is add a dab of glue and place it on the top of my birdhouse like this. And look how cute. Just a little dab of glue and look. Adorable. It just makes it. Now I'm going to take another ribbon from the Dollar Tree, one of these thin ribbons, this Offrey brand that the Dollar Tree has sometimes. And I'm just going to add it as a border on the bottom where the yellow paint meets the white. That way it gives it a finished look. And I'll just adhere it with a little bit of the hot glue, place a little dab and go all the way around. And then finish it back on the very back. And secure it with another dab of glue, like this. And snip off the excess. This ribbon has some white swirls in it and I thought that was adorable. And I'll show you here in a second. Now this decor will be for indoors because of the hot glue, of course. Just look how pretty. And this is how it looks and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 5, I'm going to use a variety of these bamboo hoops. Some I got from Dollar Tree, some I got from Amazon. And using some of the Dollar Tree super glue wood glue, I'm going to adhere them together to create a beehive, which I've made before for another project in the past. But this one won't be a full beehive. This one will be like half of a beehive because I have another idea for this. So all I'm taking is this wood glue and I'm going to add it to each of the hoops. And I'm just going to start stacking them together to make this half of a beehive like this. Just look how super sweet. Now here I went ahead and made 2. Now I'm going to take these little square mini bowls or cups from the Dollar Tree from the party section. I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to take some of this burlap ribbon. This is from Family Dollar, but Dollar Tree does have something similar. And I'm going to cover the outside with some of this ribbon. I'm just going to add a bead of glue on the bottom of one of these cups. I'm going to adhere it and I'm going to use my silicone spatula so I don't burn my fingers. And I'm just going to go around this whole cup, just going side by side like this. Add a dab of glue or a bead of glue, add the ribbon, turn it around, and so on until it looks like this. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the second one, and just like this, they're both done. And now I'm going to take my little beehives and I'm going to take some of the Waverly antique wax and give them a good coat. And now I'm going to take some of the Dollar Tree lacy ribbon and I'm just going to add this for embellishment. I'm going to do a little dab of glue and put it down and then go all the way around the top rim, the outside rim. And I'll adhere it as I go along because I don't want this to slip off. It can slip off pretty easily, I think. So I just go around and then I end up doing a second row right below it, like this. And then I made a sweet little bow with that same ribbon. And I'm just going to adhere with a little bit of hot glue on the front. And look how adorable. And then I went ahead and did both like this. And now I'm going to give them a little bit of weight with some random Dollar Tree pebbles that I had on hand. They're just leftovers and there's actually some pieces of moss in there too. Hey, Good way to get rid of that extra stuff you have lying around. Add it for weight. And speaking of leftovers, I have leftover floral greenery, like leaves. And you know these happen to just add up. So here I'm going to go ahead and use these. I'm going to add a little dab of glue and I'm going to place them in the corners of these cups just to make it look, I don't know, more filled. And I do this to both. And now I'm just going to check and make sure that my little beehives are going to fit in there without falling through. And these leaves help give it a cushion. I do fix them a little bit better than it looks right now. I'm just checking it out and make sure it's going to fit. Now I'm going to take these little dried flowers. They are called star flowers. And I found them at a thrift store for about $1 for this little bunch. So I picked them up and I'm going to utilize them. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to make all my DIYs just a little bit different, using different elements, different materials, and just to make them more unique. So I'm going to take half of this little bundle and I'm going to add a dab of glue, of hot glue, and I'm going to utilize my silicone spatulas to help press them together because I surely don't want to burn my fingers. So here I'm just going to add one on the bottom and one on top and press. That way each one of those little pieces get adhered together like this. So I have a little bundle and I do the same thing to the second bundle like this. Now I can add these to my beehives and all I do is add another little dab of glue on top of this and then I place it inside of my little beehive, like just flowers are just coming out. And I do this to both. Add a little dab of glue and press it in. Allow the glue to set before I continue. Just position it just right, kind of balance it. Here I'm using a bamboo skewer to help place it in the right spot. Now it's nice and set. I'm going to take my other hot glue, my yellow faux honey hot glue, and I'm going to add some drips of honey like it's coming out of the beehive. And of course, you know I'm going to use some faux bees as well. I just have to add a couple of the bees. And these are from the Dollar Tree, the little wooden ones that are super adorable. And now I just set them in their cups. And this is how they look. And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 6, I'm going to use one of these wood rounds from the Dollar Tree. It's got the laser cut tree on it. And when I first saw this tree, I instantly thought of a tree of life, of a family tree. So we're going to make a family DIY with this one. So I'm going to remove my jute twine. We'll use a different one later. And I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly antique wax. And with a tiny paintbrush, I'm going to take my time and paint this whole tree. Nothing on the inside though. So it looks like this. That took a while. It sure did. And now I'm taking the Waverly chalk paint in the color Snow White and just very lightly do a very light brushing of just the trunk of the tree because it looked a little bit too solid. I want a little bit more dimension on at least the trunk. I think the branches turned out okay, but the trunk definitely needed something. And now that I'm happy with the look, I'm going to go into my little bee stash. And these are my metallic bees. And I'm going to get these from Amazon. These are the jeweled ones. And I had pink and white and yellow and black. And I'm going to take 5 of each because I'm going to represent my husband and I and my children. So I'm just going to adhere them on here like this. Look how pretty. Oh my goodness, I just fell in love with this. So pretty. Here's another piece of jute twine, a little thicker. And I'm going to make a knot. And this one, I don't know where I got this one, but it had a lot of fuzzies. And so I went ahead and took my lighter, got rid of that. And I'm just going to place the hanger back in the hole. And that is it for this one. This one's super easy. And this is how it looks. And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 7, I'm going to take this Hexagon decor piece from the Dollar Tree from Crafter Square, remove the tag, and get it ready to paint. But first, I'm going to take one of these bees. This one is from Amazon. I'm going to place it here. Then I'm going to take these little spoons. These are wooden spoons from Amazon as well. And I'm going to go in with these 2 paints, paint them like this. And now I'm going to take the bee and adhere it with some hot glue and place it on my little sign. like this. Just press down. And then I'm going to take some of the yellow and fill in the little hole that I forgot to fill in earlier. But that's okay. We have a bamboo skewer and some more paint. Easy fix. Just fill it up. And now with the spoons, I'm going to use some more of my faux yellow honey. But with the black in the spoons, it's going to look like black seed honey. And I don't know if you've ever heard of black seed honey. It's supposed to be very healthy for you. I've personally never had it, but I've seen it advertised, and so I thought, this is a different kind of honey. Black seed honey. Let me know in the comments if you've ever heard of it. If you've ever tried it. Is it good? I'm interested. So here are my little spoons, and with the hot glue still really hot, I'm kind of holding the spoons down to help the honey kind of drip down a little bit. Not too much. And I did use my heat gun to help it along just a little bit. And then when I felt like the drip was good enough, I just went ahead and laid it down. That way the glue would set in that position. So it didn't take long. And then once I got that done, then I went ahead and added some hot glue to the back on both. And I adhere them onto my little sign. And look how different. It's so cute. I love it. This will go great in the kitchen. You could add words to this if you want. I chose to keep it pretty simple, but you can definitely add any kind of words on here, any kind of message. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a couple more bees. I felt like I still needed something, so I'm just taking some of these plastic bees from Amazon, and I'm going to add them to my decor, one on the little spoon, and then one on a bit of the honey on the other spoon, like this. And that is it. Super cute. This is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 8, I'm going to take this rolling pin from the Dollar Tree from the fall. I had an extra one available, so I'm going to go ahead and take my heat gun and soften up this label. I know this label, after sitting a while, is going to be hard to remove, so I had to heat it up a little bit, get the glue to release. And using my Cricut spatula, I am peeling this off. And I'm also going to use my heat gun to soften up this bow. It's really cute, but it's more for fall, so I'm just going to remove that. We don't need it. And now I'm going to pull off the rest of this glue and then remove these ends. They actually remove pretty easily. And I'm going to take my finger sander and I'm going to sand off any extra adhesive that's on there. We definitely don't need that. And now I'm going to go in with these two paint colors, paint them like this. And now I'm going to take some more of these rub-on transfers from Amazon. I chose this one that has a jar of honey with a honey dabber. I'm going to place that on the right side. And I'm going to use this little honeycomb, put this on the left side. And then I'm going to take the one that says honey and put it in the center. And this is an easy way to add words to a project if you don't have a Cricut. Of course, the rub-on transfers. So I'm just going to place it right here. And then I add a little bee that I clipped off as well. And then I'm just going to seal everything with some more of the Mod Podge. Love our Mod Podge. And then allow this to dry completely. And I'm going to add a border to it. I'm going to use some of this black paint and just a small brush. I'm just going to go around the whole perimeter of this rectangle and make like a little border. Just very rustic like this. And now I'm going to add my little handles back on, and I'm going to use some hot glue. I probably could have used the wood glue better, but I did the hot glue. And I'm just going to add that, place that inside, allow that to set, and do the other side, of course. And I decided not to add any bows, but you can certainly do that. But I think it's adorable. And this is how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 9, I'm going to take this mini canvas from the Dollar Tree Crafter Square. This one's in the white. I don't remember if they have the black, but I didn't find it if they did. So I'm going to go ahead and make my own and paint it black. And I'm going to paint the easel with the Waverly antique wax. And I'm going to use another one of these bees from Amazon and paint it yellow with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Maize. And now taking some of the apple barrel paint yellow, I'm going to take my little small brush and with my finger I'm going to flick it and make some little specks all over this canvas because I feel like it needs some kind of a background, maybe a little organic. So make it look like pollen everywhere maybe. And then I just keep flicking it until my liking, like this. I think this is so cute. Look at that. See? Like that. And it was kind of bothering me that the canvas wasn't perfectly square. So here I'm trying to find the right direction I'm going to use. I think I'm going to use that wonky edge on the top. And I'm going to take some hot glue and adhere my bee on there. Like this. And then with that wonky top to kind of give it a little bit of an effect so it won't be looking so wonky. I'm going to add some hot glue to the back and I'm going to add some of this jute twine. I'm going to adhere it and I'm going to wrap it around quite a few times. I think I did 4 times around. But if you want to do this, you know, you can wrap it around as many times as you want. But I feel like this helped the top not look so crooked and off because I really couldn't fix that unless I took the whole canvas part, which surely didn't want to do that. So now I'm just going to add enough glue to the back and press it down with my silicone spatula until all the glue sets and spreads all over. That way all the fibers and all the strands can get some hot glue. Now I'm going to take care of all those fuzzies on my jute twines. I'm going to take my lighter, remove them real quick. They don't take long. Get them nice and finished looking. Love this part. And now it's looking better. It only looks wonky if you really look at it. If you stare at it. Now I'm going to add my little piece back on my easel. And look how adorable. This is how it looks. And a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 10, I'm going to take 2 of these birdhouses. Yes, I found more birdhouses. I found these at Family Dollar. They were $5 each. I thought they were totally worth it because they are a nice size. So I'm going to go in with these 3 paints and paint them up in this manner. And I'm going to take this napkin. I think I got this one from Amazon some time ago, so you can see it's not a full napkin. So I'm going to utilize this, remove the top or the bottom ply. I don't need that. And I'm going to take my small paintbrush and some water. I'm just going to add some water to my table and a small paintbrush, and I'm going to paint around where I want to cut this because I don't want any straight cuts. I want it very organic looking, so I feel like this is the best way to remove any pieces from a napkin that I want to use for my project. So like this, I just go around and allow that water to do the cutting for me. Then all I have to do is gently with my fingers just press down and all the pieces will come off, and then I can work with them and I won't have any rigid lines, and I want it to look organic. So I like this trick. So here I'm going to remove all these pieces, taking my time, that way I don't rip my bees, because that's what I want. I want the bees from here. So here are my pieces. Now I'm deciding that I need to cut these in half, so add a little bit more water and do a little line, and now I can cut off. Do the second one real quick, like this. And now I have enough bees to go on both of my little birdhouses. Now I'm going to add some of the Mod Podge in the mat, and I'm going to add a nice little glob on this side of this roof. Brush it on and add one of my little bees and press it down gently and add the other layer on top and allow this to dry completely. And then I add another bee to the other side of this roof, and I do this to both in the same manner. Add some Mod Podge, nice thin coat, and place my piece of napkin on top, press it down, and add some more Mod Podge, but just very gently. Now here I'm going to remove some more of this piece, add a little bit of water to remove it, it just makes it easier. and brush on some more of the Mod Podge, just very gently. And I do this to both like this, and then allow them to dry completely. Now here they are, nice and dry. I'm going to take my Waverly chalk pen in the color ink and my chunky chippy brush, and I'm going to distress the roofs a little bit. I feel like it's just still a little bit too new looking, so I'm just going to very gently just go up and down, and I distress the roof, some of the birdhouse itself, and also the fence, the white fence on this house. And then finally I'm just going to embellish with a few little bees. I'm going to use these tiny little bees that are from Amazon. They're plastic and I love them. I think they're cute. I'm going to add a larger one on here, and I'm going to add some tiny ones as well. And finally I decided to add some florals on the bottom, and that is it. This is how they look, and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code, and I invite you to follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays. If you're on TikTok, here is my QR code for TikTok, and I post on there Monday through Fridays as well as Facebook. Here's my QR code for there. Here's my QR code for Pinterest, Monday through Fridays also, as well as my Threads account. I post on there Monday through Fridays. Here is my QR code for Hometalk. I post on there twice a month. And I do have a crafting group on Facebook if you'd like to come join us and have some fun. And it's called Family and Budget Friendly Crafting World. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know which one was your favorite one. Well, I'd like to take a moment and thank Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY for joining me in this World Bee Day collaboration celebration. I can't wait to see what she created, so be sure to hop on over to her channel, to her video, and watch what she made today. And while you're there, you might as well subscribe because she is fantastic and a great friend. And I'll have her links in my description box, and I'll also pin her video link in my comments for your convenience. And I'd also like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy day to watch my video. I really appreciate it, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know which one's your favorite one. And if you're coming from Brenda's channel, welcome to my channel here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and there's lots more coming, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong. Have a beautiful rest of your day and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.